Welcome to another day of writing code in Python. Today we are going to be looking at how to code a tip calculator. Let's assume that you and your friends you went to a restaurant to eat, and at the end of the whole thing, you guys have to pay bills, and you also to tip the person who attend to you. So let's say the total amount of what you guys consumed is, let's say, $100. Then you have to tip the guy. Maybe you want to tip him 10% of the bill, 15% of 20% of the bill. So now what we want to do is we want to write a code that calculates calculates it, okay, that calculates your bill and the tip, then add it together to your bill. Then it simply share it to the number of people that came with you to the restaurant to eat. Okay, now look at this code. Let me run a sample of the code. You can see, welcome to the tip calculator. What is the total bill? So let's say your total bill is 100, and how much tip would you like to give? Let's say you want to give 20% of the tip, and how many people are splitting? Let's say you have 10 that went to the restaurant. So you can see, so that means each person should pay $12. So this is the type of code we are going to be writing today, and I this type of project I'm going to be writing, and I hope you really enjoy writing it. Okay, without wasting time, let us go straight into the writing of the code. Now I'm going to comment out this one. Okay, now let's start afresh. So the first thing we can do is for us to create is for us to import math function, which is really important. So let's import our math function, since we are going to, it's not really important, but just import it. Now the next thing to do is to print out so something that welcomes people, welcome to the tip calculator. Welcome to the tip calculator. Okay, then we can run the code and see how it goes. Okay, our code is working perfectly. Now the next thing is to use the input word to ask the person who is attending to us at the restaurant our total bill. So we can say, when you are trying to get users, when you're trying to get information from the user, you use the input keyword, right? Also we use the input function. And what do? We ask the person what was the total bill. Okay, and what was the total bill? Then we then we put it in dollar. So you can use the dollar keyword. So put it in dollar. Then what you do is that you have to save it in a variable. Okay, so let's save it in a variable called b, so that we can use it again. Bills. Okay, that's the next thing. Then the second thing is also to use an input keyword to ask for the tip. So we want to know, so maybe the users wants to, we want to give the person who attends to us, want to give him one or two, want to give him tips, maybe 10%, 15%, or 20%. Now we have to, like, okay, we are giving you 10%, 20% of the tip for the bill. So we can use the input keyword to ask how much tip would like would you like to give? So we can give the person option 10, comma 15 or 20. Okay, then we have to save this one also in as a variable. So if you are saving it, we'll use the keyword, you can save it in as tip, variable called tip, and that's all. The next thing to do is to also ask, our code should be able to ask how many people are splitting the bill. So how many people are splitting the bills. can also save it in a variable called split. Alright, now the next thing our code can do is to calculate the percentage of, so when to calculate the percentage of the tip, whether 10%, 15%. So if you're calculating the percentage, percentage is always that value multiplied divided by 100. So if you are giving 10, so it's going to be 10%. So of course we have saved it in the variable called tip, so it's going to be tip, whatever the person put, divided by 100. Then if you are to calculate the percentage of 100, so the percentage of 100 is, and the percentage of the total bill is going to be the total bill, or the bill, then multiplied by 10%. So that's going to give us, let's say for example we are tipping the person 10%, so it's going to be 10 divided by 100, that's 0.01, multiplied by the bill, so which is probably going to be 10 if the total bill is 100, so it's going to be $10. Now that $10, now we are going to add it to the total bill, making it 100, and so it's going to be $110 that we are going to pay in total. So we can save it in a variable called total. Okay, but you will observe that we're having a squeaky line here. Why are we having a squeaky line? We are having a squeaky line because of the data that that is being output when you use the word input function. Anytime you use the word input function, you should always expect a string data type. So it gives back a string data type. So, and here we are using calculate. We are doing some calculation which involves multiplication, division, and addition, which means we have to change the data type to float or integers. First of all, our bill, let's change it to float data type. We use the float keyword. Okay, then for the tip, you can change it to an integer, or you can just change everything to floating data type. And also our split, you can also change it to int and integer. Now you notice the moment you change all these things to float and integer data type, you see that the squeaky line disappeared. That's done for the total. The next thing to do now is to know what per person will pay. So per person, so me and my friends that went, or you and your guys that went to the restaurant, is now per person. You guys will pay the total divided by the split. The split is the number of people that goes to the restaurant to eat. So let's say you guys are 5, for example. Okay, and finally we print out the results. We can say print, and then we use our f strings to combine. Then we can say each person and see that each person should pay. This person should pay it whatever it is. So let us run this code and see. Oh yeah. So what is the total bill? Let's say we have $200 bill. How much we are tipping? We are tipping 20%. And how many people are splitting the bill? We are 10 that are splitting the bill. So you see now each person should pay $24. It's as simple as that. But let us do some adjustment in our code. So let's say this $200, we don't want it in the same line with the prompt. What we can do is we can use a backward slash with n, so to automatically take it to a new line. Here also we can use a backward slash here, a new line. Then here also we can use a backward slash new line. Let's run the code. You see now, you can see now the dollar is on a new line. So let's say our total bill was $100, and how much tip would you like to give? We are giving 20%, and how many people are splitting? We are also 10 that are splitting. So each person is paying $12. So this is how simple to build this project called tip calculator. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with person, and in case you want to reach out to me for training on Python, okay, Python, you want to know how to use Python programming language. Okay, you can check out my Telegram channel, then you can reach out to me on WhatsApp, then my LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on all my social media app. And yes, thank you so much for watching.